Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you guys have enjoyed our previous videos. If you guys have purchased any of the games that we've reviewed on and tried it with your children and you guys found a particular strategy that it really worked, please share it with us by commenting on the comment section.
Azim and I both believe that knowledge is supposed to be shared. We don't claim to be the most knowledgeable, but over the years, whatever strategy that we have used on our students and we know that it works, we want to share it with you guys.
Attention, this game complies with the following sections in the Australian curriculum.
So in this video, we'll be reviewing a very wordy game called the Sentence Building and Writing. So this game is developed by Anko Education and it is suitable for children ages 4 and above.
So this game is meant to help your children recognize and read words along with putting sentences together. The game can be extended by including complex and compound sentences for your children who are already a bit more advanced.
I'm not really sure how to play. I mean, I think parents think that they know, we think that we know how to build sentences until we play the game. We realize.
We look more confused than the child.
It's very confusing.
That's what happened to us when we opened this game. It doesn't actually tell you how to play apart from having a picture of a sentence in the front of the box. Telling you.
I mean, it kind of assumes people know how to build sentences, which is okay. I mean, you can build sentences, but there's more things into it. So basically it comes with like words with magnets on them, and you would take that out and they give you like a board that you can put the magnets on the board and try to build sentences, and they give like about 300 words or more, I think.
And the words, punctuation, you know, the words include characters, the words include settings, verbs, nouns, and then there's punctuations. They also give you a board which has dotted thirds on it, so this can improve the children's handwriting. So you would put the words together. For example, I went to the zoo, or I went to the park, and then you would get your child to actually write underneath that. So looking at the words and then writing it themselves.
So the price is $8 Australian. So the game is made out of cardboard, which means no water whatsoever. So make sure that your children dries their hand before they play the game. Any Anko educational product, the game comes with a very solid box and very subtle colors.
If you want to understand more about the impact of colors on children, you can watch our previous video on this topic, and the link is in the description section.
Yeah, one thing that I noticed though about the game, it comes with a very big box for the content that it has. I feel like it takes a lot of space.
Yeah, you wouldn't like that big of a box inside your house.
So the game comes with a 2-sheet of magnetic words, and there's about like 300 words in them, which is a lot. Yeah, so the words consist of different settings, different characters, noun, pronoun, verbs, adjectives, punctuation marks such as
full stops, commas, exclamation mark, question mark, apostrophe. So it's a good variety. Also, it comes with dotted thirds whiteboard. Well, it isn't actually a whiteboard, the back is cardboard, but it's something that's affordable for $8. It also comes with a whiteboard marker with the eraser on top, but you would invest in a good marker. That's one tip that we can tell you with all the games.
Always get a good marker.
Yeah, because children at younger age, they tend to press it really hard and they really want to concentrate on getting those curves right, getting those straight lines right. So they're going to press really hard on the marker, and that
just dries up the markers really quickly. So get a good marker. Reading, speaking, and memory skills. So these are the 3 things that the game says that it will help with. How does it do it, and does it? Let's go into it.
Number 1 is memory skills. The way memory skills is actually developed is through citing. So if your child uses capital letter at the beginning of the sentence and full stop at the end, and they do this multiple times, they learn that they can do this inside their own writing. That's how they remember, and this is how memory is developed in terms of sentence structure. Now, if we look at words, how do children learn to spell? By sight. Okay, so there's something called graphemes, and these are a combination of letters that can make a sound. For example, in the case of the sound E, it's represented as double E. The grapheme is double E for the word been. Okay, I have been to the park.
Or I have seen.
Oh, seen also has it, right? It has a double E. Another grapheme that represents that sound is the letter I in the word his or the word in. They all use the same sound but represented by different letters. So the more your child actually sees these words, they're going to remember, okay, this is a spelling choice for it. To summarize it, that's how memory skill is developed within this game.
Do not discourage your children by giving them a big cross when they're trying to spell words. Instead, encourage them by ticking the right letters and underlining the mistakes. Then discuss alternate spelling choices.
What about reading and speaking?
So reading is actually a learned skill. So it depends on the child's knowledge of the English language and the components of the English language. Whereas speaking is an innate behavior of humans. We communicate through voice. Since it is innate and it is natural, you should encourage your child to speak more about what they want to write, that sentence they want to put together. You would notice that the more you speak to your child prior to writing, their sentence structures are better, their writing is better. And often with our students at our tutoring center, what happens, I always get them to read out loud. When they read out loud, they realize nothing makes sense. The sentence structure is not right. So encourage your children to speak before they write and read. The words actually come with a magnet at the back, and kids love magnets. These magnets aren't super strong. They won't stick to the board, but they will stay on the board. When your child has actually finished making the words, then you need to write it. And while they're doing that, these words won't move around. And
yeah, especially because kids, when they write, they start moving the board. So it's good that, it doesn't stick really hard, but at least it stays on there.
Yeah, that these words are very small, so you will lose them. So try to categorize them in different bags. Because
there's about 300 words and they have different meaning, it's just much easier to have them categorized in different places.
And some of the words, it's repeated. So for example, the word an or the, it will be in capital letter TH, because the capital letter goes at the start of the sentence, and without a capital it goes within the sentence.
Basically the game comes with absolutely no manual. So as a man, I need manual. I need direct instructions on what to do. So when it comes with no manual, I'm a bit disappointed, but
it is $8.
It is $8 and they
spending a lot.
I know.
Okay.
Since the game is not user-friendly and the words are so tiny, students prefer to write the words for two reasons. The word that they like is not included, or the word that they want to write, they can't find it.
So if you think about building sentences, it is kind of very easy if you think about it, because you build sentences every single day. But then again, when it's about time for you to teach your children how to build sentences, it becomes very difficult. Because for you to teach sentences, first you need to understand the components of sentences, right? So this is pretty daunting and very difficult, and you are not alone. We struggle with it, many parents struggle with it. So this part of the video is a step-by-step guide on how to teach your children how to write sentences.
So as Azim mentioned, you need to learn the structure of sentences and types of sentences. So this part is going to be a little long but beneficial. So I would like you to pause the video, boil some water, make yourself some tea or coffee, we like tea, and then come back, relax and enjoy, because sentence writing is going to become so much easier from now on.
This section is going to demonstrate how you would teach your children sentence structure. First step is to define sentences and allow your children to understand the concept of a sentence. You can do this by explaining the following 4 points. So a sentence is a group of words that express a complete thought. And a thought is something that happens inside our head. Number 2, sentences can be simple or complicated. Number 3, they can be long or short. Number 4, sometimes a single word can be a sentence, like a command. For example, run. And sometimes sentences can be very silly. It doesn't have to always make sense, such as the crocodile sat on the clock. And what you can actually do in order to gain your children's interest is allow them to make silly sentences with you. The second step is for your children to understand the different types of sentences. There are 3 types of sentences. Number 1, a simple sentence. Number 2, a compound sentence. And number 3, a complex sentence. You should start with a simple sentence first. A simple sentence, also known as an independent clause, include a subject plus a verb. So, for example, Azim was playing soccer. Azim being the subject or the character, was playing being the verb. Azim was playing is actually considered a simple sentence because it includes both subject plus verb. Soccer is additional information. So you could tell your children, if you provide additional information, that's a lot of plus points. You're telling me exactly what is happening in your imagination. After showing them many examples and practicing over a few days, you can move on to compound sentences. Compound sentences include 2 independent clauses, so 2 simple sentences combined by something called coordinating conjunction. For example, Azim was playing soccer, so Medina went for a run. Azim was playing soccer is 1 simple sentence or 1 independent clause combined by a coordinating conjunction, which is in this case the word so, and then followed by Medina went for a run, another simple sentence or another independent clause. By independent clause, they mean that both simple sentences on both sides of so, they can make sense on their own. So if we take away so and we read the first sentence, Azim was playing soccer, that makes sense on its own. And the next sentence, Medina went for a run, that also makes sense. None of the sentences rely on each other. By placing so in the middle of the 2 sentences, you're coordinating the 2 sentences, relating them to each other, which adds more context to your story. So is an example of a coordinating conjunction. There are also 6 more coordinating conjunction, altogether 7 of them. These are known by the acronym FANBOYS, which stand for and, nor, but, or, yet, so. You could use either of these to connect 2 simple sentences or 2 independent clauses. Lastly, we have complex sentences, and this is when 2 sentences are connected by a subordinating conjunction, but the difference is one sentence is independent, the sentence followed by the conjunction is dependent on the first sentence. For example, Azim wore his knee pads because he was the goalkeeper. Azim wore his knee pads is the independent clause. On its own, it makes sense as a sentence alone. Because being the subordinating conjunction, he was the goalkeeper is a dependent clause. It depends on the first sentence, which is Azim wore his knee pads, in order for us to understand who was the goalkeeper. These are other subordinating conjunctions which you can use in complex sentences. We used the word because. The ultimate goal is for your child to be confident in writing different types of sentences and including simple, compound and complex sentences within their writing piece to make it more interesting. If you wish to further extend your child's knowledge of sentences, introducing commands, statements, questions, and exclamations.
For this game, we give it an average 6.6 out of 10.
I hope you enjoyed this video and you found that actually useful. You can find our video on YouTube, Instagram and Facebook.
Yes.
If you are on YouTube, please
Subscribe.
and like
And share.
and do all the other things that you need to do to support us and support other parents.
Bye-bye.